Hi YouTube, it's Kia of Kia Comments, and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be discussing a book that I have mentioned in two of my previous videos. The first time it was mentioned in my most anticipated books of 2015, and the second time it was mentioned in my July reading wrap-up. I will leave the link to both videos in the description box below. This book is in the back of me to my right, and it's called Let Me Explain You by my good friend Annie Leontes. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Annie Leontes delivers some dark humor, she delivers a lot of poignancy, we get a lot of family drama, readers travel to Greece, and we sit in the diners of New Jersey. This book encompassed a lot of emotions and rendered them really clearly and really beautifully. The thing that I want to discuss and that was most compelling to me in the novel was the theme of immigration and all of the isms that are umbrellaed underneath this theme. The novel kicks off with an email from the patriarch of the family, Stavros Mavrakis. Stavros is writing his daughters because he's had a dream about a goat that he believes predicts his death. He eventually becomes to believe in the dream because the next day after he has had this dream, a goat literally shows up at his place of work. He writes his daughters, and the opening lines of this email, as well as the title of the book, is Let Me Explain You. This is a nice entry for the reader into ideas of immigration because Stavros Mavrakis is Greek and his first language is Greek, and when he says let me explain you, he is speaking his second language, English, and he discusses later in the novel what it's like to navigate the waters of being from two countries and having two languages. Let me explain you roughly translate into let me clarify things for you. Let me explain how it is that I see you. Stavros then goes on in this email to say to each of his daughters, Stavrula his oldest, Litsa his middle daughter, and Ruby his youngest daughter, how they can make their lives better based on what it is he is explaining to them. He also sends the email to his ex-wife, Carol, who is his second wife and the mother of Ruby, but not the mother of Litsa and Stavrula. This letter, or email rather, sent by Stavros to the women in his life explains that he's going to die in 10 days. He wants each of the women, his daughters and his ex-wife, to help him with funeral preparations. He does this, however, in a really bad way because most of his email is spent explaining or criticizing his daughters for who they are and letting them know how it is that he wants them to live their lives. A lot of what Stavros conveys to his daughters and his ex-wife in the email is lost in translation. Yes, because it's written in English and Greek is his first language, but also because he comes from a background where rendering his emotion isn't something that is done in words. As a matter of fact, the way that Stavros renders his emotion is through food and hard work and providing for his offspring. The absurdity of this letter or email isn't lost on his daughters, and they think everything about his preparing for a funeral is funny until Stavros goes missing. The absence of Stavros partway through the novel does a wonderful thing. It allows readers to fully see all the other characters in the novel, and every single character in this novel is given their own interiority, something that I think is incredibly hard to do and that I think Leontes does extremely well. I'm going to start off with Stavrula, who is the oldest daughter and who, like her father, cannot always communicate through language. Stavrula communicates solely through food. There are some wonderful recipes, just as a side note, and Annie, I done cooked too, okay? I cooked two of them. There are some wonderful recipes in this, sorry, I cracked myself up, in this novel, and what they do is explain to the reader who Stavrula is. We see that Stavrula cannot say to her most beloved friend, Marina, I'm gay. I'm in love with another woman. And so she prepares a meal with Marina, hoping that Marina can see who she is and can't see who she is. We see that Stavrula only knows how to communicate her deep feelings for the object of her affection through food. And so as a result, Stavrula creates a whole menu that revolves around said object of affection. We also see that Stavrula does not know how to converse with her father. And the best way that the two know how to overlap and how to communicate with each other is the immigrant way, through work, and the Greek way, through food. Litsa too communicates her emotions through work. Litsa is an insurance worker and sums up people in insurance language. She might describe a person as 3125B, which means they are obese and likely to have diabetes. And when she cannot communicate her feelings of frustration, she tends to be given to acts of violence, which she has visited upon her father and Stavrula separately. This is because these two are the people in the novel whose approval she most craves, whose love she most desires, and who she also most resents. Of all the sisters, Ruby is the one who the reader gets plainly. What Ruby says is what Ruby means. And this may be because Ruby's mother, Carol, has fully assimilated into the American way, and also this is probably because Ruby was born in America and has only lived in America for her entire life. Ruby is blessed among this family. And though she doesn't show up much in the novel, when she does show up in the novel, how each family member feels about her is more telling about who they are than about who Ruby herself is. There are two more extremely important characters in this novel. Marina, the cook at Stavros' diner, and Dina, Stavros' first wife and the mother of Stavrula and Litsa. Marina is from the same place as Stavros, and they've actually grown up together. Marina shows up on Stavros' door when his first marriage is in shambles and it seems as though he is about to lose everything. Marina helps Stavros create his diners, and she also helps Stavros raise his children, specifically Stavrula. My favorite character was Marina, and in a lot of ways, she is the glue that binds this family together, although she is not technically a member of this family. And finally, we have Dina, who is Stavros' first wife. Dina forces Stavros' hand because she is somebody who is given to substance abuse, and he has to leave her, and he also has to send his two girls back home. And this is where that lost in translation feeling that Stavrula and Litsa both have, I think, comes from, because though they were born in America, they were both sent back to Greece as toddlers, and then they had to come back to America and reestablish themselves. This novel is a lovely book, and it is a part of the immigrant narrative, and I think something that everybody who suffers from feelings of displacement should read. You'll like this novel if you liked the book Like Water for Chocolate. If only for the food, this novel is worth the read. If you like King Lear, Shakespeare lovers, this novel is for you because it has an interesting twist on the relationship between fathers and daughters. For anybody who likes family drama or who is interested in novels where the head of the family has good intentions, but it doesn't necessarily always come out that way, think Olive Kitteridge. You will also like this novel. That's it. That's all. Thumbs up if you like this video. Any books mentioned or videos mentioned will be in the description box below. Keep reading, keep writing, keep reviewing. Bye now.